Before my relationship with Christ, I was going through the motions of life. I was trying to look impressive on social media. Many people know that I like to travel, so I saw some amazing sights. I took some very mediocre photos, but I also had some of the worst moments of my life. I was living life in a very transactional way. Work was a paycheck. I was using relationships to focus on what others could do for me and not reciprocate. I didn't find much of a need for church or the church community. I did grow up going to church and I was well versed in my education about Jesus, but I never really read or studied the Bible. I maybe tried to read 3 or 4 chapters when I was 12, but then gave up, and I just decided to trust what others had taught me. I was a believer, but my true faith was really in myself. I tried to perfectly design life so that I would be happy, fulfilled, but really only have to count on myself and not have to rely on others. And I just felt like I was simply existing. I was using resources, I was seeking maximum pleasure, and I was just taking from the world, not giving anything back. I was pretty depressed. I was depressed for the better part of 15 years, and I decided that once I had no one relying on me or caring about my happiness, that I didn't need to live anymore. I was living not to cause a scene or not to be a cause of concern for others. And if something came along to give me a reason to live in that sense of life, then so be it. Of course, as God would have it, I did meet a fine young gal on a dating app, and she was very open about her faith. That's pretty rare in my community, and to even put that out publicly before meeting was unheard of. I swiped thinking, well, I know everything about Christianity, I can surely hang with her, but the way she lived and talked about her relationship with God, it just made me realize how little I actually knew about God. And spoiler alert, she's now my wife. But at that time, my entire relationship with God was based on believing that God set everything in motion and my responsibility was to be a good person, and that was it. But now it was incredibly clear that I needed to actually develop a stronger relationship with Jesus. So slowly, over time, we got involved with community through Bible studies, hope groups, even through my counseling and getting more involved in our community church. I saw God strengthen and deepen my relationship with Him. It's a wonderful experience. And today, Christ continues to teach me about work, patience, and love. Love is at the heart of everything that I experience through Him, and He's using His love to change those instantaneous reactions that I used to have that were filled with hate, judgment, and fear, and He's replacing those emotions with grace, love, and His mercy. God is teaching me patience, to give up control and to come to terms with the brokenness of the world. I used to hide from those thoughts and those ideas, but now I see Him everywhere. I see God providing hope and renewal in the world, and just changing things with His love. The toughest thing for me has definitely been work, something I've always struggled with. I always used to think that maybe like 5 jobs matter, healthcare, clean water, things like that. But now I see God's redemptive perspective partnering with Him in the work that He's doing through our jobs. He continues to help me relinquish control over my life because He is truly trustworthy with all of it. I now have a much better understanding of the gospel and the gift of our salvation. It's a wonderful gift. We do nothing to earn, deserve, or attain that salvation, and that took me a really long time to come to terms with. I really felt like we needed to earn salvation, but instead, Christ's being came down to earth to fill that chasm and to build that genuine relationship with Him humbles me every day. So that brings me to my baptism, a symbol of my renewal in Christ. And I really want to get baptized as a public display of the faith that I have in Him and in following Christ as well. I'm really hoping that through sharing my testimony, anyone, whether friends, family, or strangers, who may feel the same way that I used to feel, will have the courage to put their hope in Jesus as well.